The thoughts and views of this podcast and the sole views of the curators of this podcast is not the views of the United States Postal Service.
How does he do it?
Back again on the Route Podcast. This will be episode 4. I guess we can call this one maybe Oh My Oshkosh. I don't know. I just threw that out. Just threw that out there.
Figured that out.
I mean, but I'm gonna let my brothers introduce themselves and let y'all know who they are. If you're just now tuning in to us first time.
Yeah, I'm Aaron. Thanks for listening.
I'm B. Morton, you know what I mean? We back again. We took a little hiatus, but we back for you guys now.
This is Black. We back on oh man, I messed that all the way up. That's crazy. This is Black. We're back with On the Route Podcast.
It's all good. I'm your engineer, staying low key, your man Rick Sean, man. So we back at it, you know what I mean? You know how we do this. Is a podcast curated by mail carriers and USPS employees for other USPS employees, especially our fellow carriers out there. You know what I mean? We appreciate you guys for checking in on our first couple episodes. You know what I mean? So on this segment, we always try to start with the post office first. So I wanted to have us all talk about the new LLV contract that we have with a company called Oshkosh Defense, LLC, also known as Oshkosh Corporation. It was founded by, I'm about to probably butcher his last name, William Besserdich. He's born in 1867, died in 1959. His partner was Bernhard Mosley. He's born in 1881, died in 1968. Two very old white men, of course. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? This company has about 29 manufacturing facilities. They specialize in automobiles and the arms industry, pretty much. And I think it's valued at about $3 billion in terms of the revenue that they do. And the Postal Service just did a contract with them for about $482 million to make our vehicles for us, the new LLVs, which LLV stands for Long Lasting Vehicle, if you're not familiar with the term. And the company's headquartered based in Wisconsin. So what do you guys think, before I get into some hearsay drama about this contract, what do you guys think overall about the whole idea of us getting new LLVs and, a defense company actually doing the contracting, the building of it?
Thank God. Oh my gosh. What? In the hot box in the summertime.
Turning the ice in the winter.
Getting lead poison from the rusted vehicles. I heard about that. I was like, damn, that's crazy. But I see the new LLVs. They got AC, heat. Do they got radios though? I ain't see they had radios.
Probably not.
No. But they got the USB port. You can charge your phone. Your phone don't gotta die. And it's a little taller too, so you can stand up in the back and get the packages easier. That was a big thing for me because I gotta bend down. Like I'm taller, dude, so I gotta bend down and hunch over and stuff and get the packages. It was just super uncomfortable in the old LLV. So yeah, I'm thankful for that.
Man, what can I say about the LVs? I mean, right now it looks like a dang old sneaker from what my parents said. It does like a sneaker, but I mean, my thing with the issue is like, what's going to happen now? Who's going to get it first? I know the AO is going to get it first. Like I said, my wife, she is a mail carrier. She calls it the baby station, whatever like that. But they're going to get it first mostly because, like I said, we get stuff last. I mean, what we on? Just got the Pro Masters maybe 2018, 2017. So I'm like, why are we the last ones to acquire certain vehicles? I'm like, why are the suburban areas or the outskirt areas of Philadelphia get them first? Basically, we're afraid you're going to tear it up. I'm like, regardless we get it, you're going to tear it up, basically. Like, right now, they have the left-hand Mercedes-Benz one, and that one gets tear up too, basically. Like, it's just anything you have, basically. Hopefully, it's durable. It's not a tank, basically, like, you know what I mean? So, like, hopefully, the parts and stuff and labor, they can fix it, because that's the thing you worry about, like manufacturing, fixing it, how's it going to get done. Like I said, I have a cousin that does that stuff, basically, like, so is it really going to get done, fixed the right way, properly? So just see how it's going to last with three of us we work in and Roxborough on hills, so hopefully it's durable going up and downhill. Hopefully it's good in the snow and ice and the rain.
Well, I actually like the fact of them getting new LLVs because we had these LLVs since what like 50s maybe
1908, 19.
Yeah, like they're old ass vehicles. They're falling apart. If you go down the boulevard, feel like you're about to take off into the air. If you get into the accident, you're the one that's done. So hopefully, like Brandon said, hopefully they're durable vehicles as far as like the body. It's hopefully it's like Aaron said, the heat and the air conditioning. Hopefully it's a good. Hopefully it's radio in there, but I think it's better. Just for, hopefully like the room in the back is more like Aaron said, because we're taller dudes. It's hard standing up in an LLV, even for me, like they're, him and Rick are taller than I am. And it's even hard for me. I'm hunched over standing in the back of an LLV.
I ain't got them props. I ain't got them props.
But like, hopefully it's similar to the room of a ProMaster. Because in a ProMaster, you can stand straight up. You got shelves. It's easier to spread out how much work you got, divide blocks, divide packages, what goes where. It's easier to organize in a ProMaster than in an LLV. So hopefully it has a similar amount of space. And, it works. As far as them fixing them, I went to school for auto mechanics. Hopefully it'll be just as easy to fix them as it is an LLV, even though they don't fix the LLVs like they're supposed to. But hopefully, they're easier to fix, and hopefully some of them are electric. So
that'd be great.
Yeah,
that's what I heard. I heard some of them are going to be electric.
You don't got to worry about gas cars and people stealing gas cars.
Exactly. So it'll take something else out of the post office that we don't need, and you can just do what you need to do. Which in the post office, that's all that should matter, is to live in the mail.
Yeah. So I mean, like, to me, like the whole thing, naturally, I just I'm not a capitalist per se, but I kind of think like one sometimes.
You sure, brother?
A lot of times. All right, fuck it, all the time. So naturally, I saw that we have new LLVs coming, and there's a company that we're working with, because the old company, which I think was like Gorman or something like that, was the company. They're done with them, and I saw that we offered up $482 million for these vehicles. My first thing was like, all right, how many actual vehicles are we going to get with $482 million?
Yeah,
because nowadays, to build something that's made for us is going to cost a little more than an average car, because it's designed to do a certain thing.
Yeah, and is it going to be one-sided? Like, is it going to be driven on the left side?
Yeah, it's going to be the left side, like with the actual LOV. So you don't so we was driving the same way. But like you were saying, like if it's going to be gas efficient, electric efficient, all these different things, that's extra money poured into each vehicle. $482 million is not a lot of money if you're talking about giving LLVs to every single mail carrier that needs one for park and loop route or for drive out route.
So what does that say to you, though?
To me, it seems like, all right, so we're making a change in a better direction, but I don't think it's going to be available for every single station and every single area.
Well, my question is, like you say, my thing is too also, are they going to use cheap labor parts, like I said, to get by, like how you've been known with the LVs? So like the thing is, if I could put cheap manufacturing on it, I can get by and still not spending much money. Like I said, with the Mercedes-Benz one, they can't barely fix because it's a Mercedes-Benz. Like, we don't have the tools or the utilities to fix that. So if you're going with a company, hopefully the parent company is maybe something like Chevy, Ford, like an American company, where you can fix it faster. If not,
well, I mean, I know for a fact, like that, like to answer your question, like it's definitely gonna probably be the watered down generic version, because the post office is cheap as shit when it comes to actually like paying for the full effect of something. Because sorry management, but I'm about to drop a dime on y'all. But, like their email system that they have is the same as the email system that my wife has at her job. The funny thing about it is their email system can only hold up to, like, I think it's something like around like 300, 400 emails before it's maxed out. Like, meanwhile, my wife can go on vacation for like 3 weeks and then come back and she has like 4,000 emails that she can just go through and it's literally the same exact program because she showed it to me and I've seen it before from another supervisor in the post office email. And I'm like, it's the same thing. Like, so I'm like, how is the post office this humongous company? Because my wife works for a private company that does editing for press releases. They don't have the same reach that the post office does. So, but they have a better program. Which goes to show you how we cut corners. Just like with our scanners, how Amazon or UPS can take pictures with their actual scanner. We have the same exact scanner, but we can't take pictures with it to actually show that we delivered the package at the door, right where it's supposed to be, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh man, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, so I know for a fact we're probably not going to get the top of the line A-list version of these vehicles. It's going to be like something. It's going to be something stripped away, or like we might not have the USB. You know what I mean? They might just not have that in there.
Well, can I say, are we really the hand-me-down? Basically, that's what can I say that we the hand-me-down? We can.
I think it's more like how Black be saying, like, you got Cheerios and you got, what's the other junk?
Sugar Smacks. Sugar Smacks.
Yeah, we'll get this Sugar Smacks version of the LOV this company,
Well, hopefully that the fact that these are new vehicles coming out, like LOV stands for long life vehicle, so hopefully they don't need that much maintenance since they're brand new. But you never know, like.
You saying that now, man? I'm telling you, once these people get their hands on this joint, man, how many accidents we gonna have? Or man, I didn't see, or I didn't need to put your car in the parking lot. Shit, put it on brake. Oh, I didn't know. It's gonna be one of those.
Oh, that's another thing with the new LOVs. Would that cut down on rollaways, like the vehicles?
If it's still a vehicle, if you don't put the park brake on, it's still gonna happen. Like, and my thing is, it's gonna be a new way of curving the wheels. Like, still, if you. Like I said, the post office is cheap, like Rick said. They're gonna find a way to cut corners or anyway, like in between. So it's just we gonna see. We gonna see.
Look, all I ask for in the LOVs is for it not to take off into the air when you're driving. Because if we just happen to hit the E-way, I don't want to take off like I'm in an airplane because it shakes. Like when you go a certain speed limit, oh God. It's either going to blow up or take off.
The one mistake I took on Lincoln Drive, that was the worst experience ever. Oh my God.
Hold on, wait. I was my fourth day in the post office, and I went out with the manager at the time was Miss Shelley Carson, and she wanted us to go to another station, which was what was the station? The Boulevard station. I forget the
Torres.
Bustleton. And we had to pick up LLVs. Mind you, Bustleton, it's right off the boulevard. So we had to ride down the boulevard going back to Frankfurt. And we had to follow her, and we had to take the way that she took. So I was not trying to get on the boulevard with that because I didn't know how, it would be. It's a tin can. You can kick the side off if you wanted to. So we were going down the boulevard, and I never knew that it would shake like it did. So we going down the boulevard, and it's, we going regular speed. And the boulevard at the time, the speed limit was what, 50?
Bro, people do 70 on the boulevard. Like,
yeah. So, but the speed limit
LOV go up to 85.
What the LOV?
The funny about the LOV is once you hit 45, it starts shaking like. Cause like I say, my thing on Lincoln Drive, right? So they send me from Manioc to go to Germantown. So like it's like my second, like maybe like ended like middle of my time like in post office. So the girl was saying, she said, yeah, you gotta go to Germantown or one matter of fact it was Market Square, your station. I'm on a joint like this. Oh my God. I gotta get here. I'm using navigation. I don't know how to get to Market Square from Manioc. I'm driving, shit. I'm like, move out the way. I'm like, I'm in the LLV. And then, like a couple weeks later on, she asked me, well, how did you make it to Market Square? I said, I took Lincoln Drive. She said, what? I said, I took Lincoln Drive. She said, you wasn't going to take that? I said, yo, what am I supposed to do? I said, I followed navigation. I didn't know how to get to Market Square from Manioc. What am I supposed to do? Like, it just happens. Like, it just.
Man. Taking the LOV on Lincoln Drive is crazy,
bro. It was. I tell you, it was terrible. That wall right there. It was like I was shaking like a little girl. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope I get no accident, man. I'm fidgeting. I'm like, oh my goodness,
please start shaking. It ain't no changing lanes. Forget it. Stay where you are.
What about you, Rick? What about you with LV?
I started at MOD. You know what I mean? Which that's the main station of delivery. So I didn't get into a LOV to actually drive it outside of when we tested it. When we first got the job. I didn't get into another one until probably like a year later. Because the MOD they had us just driving the two-ton, the bread truck.
Bread truck.
Yeah, so I'm like surgical with the bread truck, like, you know what I mean? Like they had me driving it all around Center City. I had to go to when we worked Amazon Sundays with CCAs, I had to go down to South Street and South Philly and drive it down there. So I'm surgical with the two-ton pretty much. You know what I mean? So when I got in the LOV, I'm like, this shit is easy. It's way easier. You know what I mean? Then when I got to Overbrook, the route I had over there, I just started parking in front of all the fire hydrants because nobody else can park there. So that's where I found my parking space was at.
You ain't gonna give you a ticket.
That was always the funniest because I used to always, when I was in the two-ton, I would pull up in front of a fire hydrant and UPS would get a ticket from from the PPA. I just hop out like the boss, you know what I mean? Hop out, walking past, looking at my man like, dang, you getting another ticket, bro? He's looking at me like, man, this is bull. You know what I mean? PPA person looking at me, seeing that I parked in front of the fire hydrant. She's just shaking her head, mad because she knows she can't do nothing about it. I'm just like, it's levels, yo. It's levels. What you want me to tell you?
So since y'all at walking stations, how will y'all manage without I don't think y'all gonna get these new LOVs. Let's be honest.
Well, we'll get them.
We might
some
like
of the routes it's driving. Some of the routes are driving.
You figure we one of the superior quote unquote white station that us, the Boulevard, we might get.
Hold on. Say that again, sir.
We superior white stations, kind of like I guess.
You said superior white stations.
I mean, am I lying when I'm saying that? Am I lying though?
No, I just want to make sure the people heard that.
Yeah. It's the truth.
I'm not questioning why you said it. I'm just wanting to make sure they heard it.
Oh yeah, it's the truth. I mean, the golden ticket, Eric can acquire since basically us, we got the same time. The golden ticket was what? To get to Roxborough because it's one of the stations, the prestige station to get to because everybody said, you in Roxborough is easy. That's the ultimate thing you want to do. I want to get to Roxborough. I got an easier route.
Is it still like that, fellas? How's it going over there?
Well, wait, before we jump into that, we gotta finish with the defense.
All right. Sorry.
And I promise this is to people listening at home, people listening on the route, people listening wherever you are. This is not one of those podcasts where we're trying to attack an individual or anything like that. I'm kind of like Dave Chappelle sometimes, where I kind of connect dots that maybe most people don't try to connect. So, in me seeing that we have this new deal on the table, because I'm a person who also plays in the stock market and has stock, like my brothers do, I wanted to, investigation about, all right, who's this company, this Oshkosh Defense company.
Touchy.
And of course, as I looked it up, I found a short little article where it said that the Postmaster General, Louis DeJoy, recently awarded the Oshkosh Corp a contract that supplies the United States Postal Service for the next generation of vehicles. But some members of the House of Representatives are questioning the award after it was revealed that someone, didn't say a name, purchased a large share of stock in the company Oshkosh before the award was announced. Now, am I calling that insider trading?
Yes.
It could be if the individual was somebody that was within the post office or something like that, or was someone that was maybe a friend of somebody that was in the post office and they were just talking about it over lunch or something like that. Hypothetically, you know what I mean? But I just find that very interesting that because Black checked it recently and the stocks are actually jumping up quite high, right?
Yeah. Yes. High.
So if you were someone who was worth a couple $1 million and you were able to put some money into that company because it's an openly traded company on the stock market exchange, right before that deal came out with the post office, you made a couple dollars. You made a couple dollars from that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I just kind of thought that was very interesting and, and how convenient for that to happen. Yeah, how convenient is that? Yeah. Now, you asked us about the station, Aaron?
Yeah.
Well, Roxborough is pretty much still a good station. The biggest problem in the station is management, obviously. Management just don't do what is necessary. They do what they're told. And the people above them that tells them what to do aren't familiar with the people in the station or the area or the job. So they need to be familiar with a job before you tell somebody to do something, and stop taking numbers from a computer, because the numbers don't mean shit. Because the mail volume is unpredictable. One day you can get 1,000 letters, the next day you get 500. Then a day after that you can get 10,000 letters. It's unpredictable. So you can't, like, they like to give us, like we said in the first episode, quote unquote, pivots. And what pivots are is basically the computer or whatever numbers they inputted in the computer to say how much mail volume you have, to say if your route is over or under. Of course, they like to have it their way, like McDonald's. So they say it's under all the time, unless it's a Monday. If it's a Monday, they'll say you're 15 minutes over. Which is bullshit.
Just for the audience, they're starting to do that because they want to cut down on overtime hours.
Yes.
They don't necessarily want to pay carriers to stay out long and do the job.
Nope.
Well, hey, and also their rebuttal is too. They say right now it's what a quote unquote slow season. That's their real foundation. Where it's slow right now. You guys should be able to get up with the mail. Not getting many letters, not getting many flats. And I'm like, you guys control the volume from down Lindbergh. We know that. That's a well-known fact from anyone, from someone starting now to someone that got 35 years. Like, you guys control the volume. Like, even when we get tested on routes, you guys make the volume so small to the point where it doesn't make any sense. It's not even a real route. We get maybe 1 or 2 trays for a walk. Like, the average tray of any station is 3 or 4 or more. Like, I've been in stations where we all can quote. I know stations we get 15 to 16 trays at a bad station, and when we get walking, this is it. Like, this is you control the narrative, control the numbers. You can do whatever you want, and that's the thing about it. And everybody steps to the game. And like I said before, we emphasize on it. Social media, we talk. Like, everybody talks. Everybody knows someone that works for the post office. Say, well, dang, what is this? Well, how can I pass the word with that? Like, you guys are not playing anymore. You guys are not the quote unquote boogeyman anymore. Nobody's scared of you guys anymore. We have the answers. We didn't. We found you. Like, that's what it is. We found you. Like, that's what it is.
So for the people at home, like, that aren't familiar with the places we're talking about Philadelphia, and we're talking about the post office in Philadelphia, and we're talking about a particular station, which is Roxborough, which is like a borough of Philadelphia, like zip code 19128. And what they're saying is that how Philly does things with the post office is might be a little different from wherever you are in the post office. Now, I would imagine that the smartest thing to do is, say you get into management at the supervisor level, you move up to the manager level, you move up to, a postmaster level in the county area. Then maybe you come back to the city. You're an area manager, which means you're in control of certain stations and managers in a specific area. And then you might move up to a city postmaster level, which is a little more higher, I guess, than a county, because, a metropolitan city, you have more responsibility as a postmaster. And then from there, you can probably move into, different sideway moves, lateral moves, and then you can get to be a district manager at some point where you're in charge of a whole district. Well, you would think that someone would go through those ranks within that actual city, that metropolitan area, and get to that level. But for some reason, Philadelphia will get a district manager from another state, who's probably never been to Philly outside of probably going to an Eagles game or a Phillies game or going to Center City, if that. And they'll bring that person here, and that person could be, I'm not even talking about like this person's from like Jersey or New York. Like, this person could be from like Florida. Yep. Or they could be from like Texas. Or they could be from Tennessee, or they could be from like,
does they bring somebody from Ohio
or something like that? Yeah, you know what I mean? Or Nevada. It could be from some place where they probably never even been to Philadelphia, like, other than probably one vacation, if that. And then, like Black was saying earlier, they're trying to tell the manager of a station in Philadelphia how things should be done when they have no idea what the routes look like, what the streets look like, what the demographic looks like, what the geography looks like, because they don't know the city. So how can you expect someone like that to succeed in that district manager position when they don't even know the district?
To that point, Rick, sorry to interrupt, but to that point, that trickles down to the management, because a manager that's coming from a different city or a different area will come to a station and say, well, the paper says this, and it's supposed to be this amount of time, but they don't account for the terrain of the route as far as steps, fences, gates and stuff like that.
Weather.
So.
Or just the mental make you might not be in it today, but to go and check what you're saying. My thing is, I want to ask Rick a question. My thing is, why does it seem like Philadelphia is the test run for people out of town? Like they want to say, well, I guess if you can't make it in the world, you can make it here in Philadelphia. Like they get anybody from any city and say, well, we're gonna put you here and put you to the trenches. Like why are we the kind of the test on or the top tier base or lower tier? Either way you want to put terrain, it's like it seems like we get anybody. Well, come on now, come to Philadelphia. We're gonna see if you can make it here. It's kind of like I guess you get a reward for if you can fix Philadelphia because we had numerous and multiple of postmasters, district managers, just like management, anything. I'm like, why are we unsustainable far as up top? Like we always get someone new. Like you can't get familiar with anyone far as with postmasters or just get a play on things because the next time you hear, well, we got another postmaster, you're like, well, dang, when so was here, Joe Blow was here 2 weeks ago, like, or a month ago. It's like, what's going on?
Well, people use us as a stepping stone.
Yeah, true.
A lot of people use us as a stepping stone to get somewhere else or to get where they primarily want to go. And there's a lot of people here that don't want to do the job. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They just don't want to do it because of what the last person left behind that they got to fix. Because it's usually a shit show.
Yeah.
And you got to come in and fix it.
And I'll say this, like to answer his question and the piggyback off of Black's point. With Philadelphia, right? It's because it's a major city in America and because it's the founding city of the country itself. Mm-hmm. It has a level of importance because the post office has been the post office since 1776, technically. And the thing about it is that we have a culture here where Philadelphia people are Philadelphia people. They're not going to change. They're not going to try to readjust to anybody that's from outside. They're going to be who they're going to be. You can't expect to have success coming into the lion's den and you're a rabbit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Thinking they're going to make these lions do what you want them to do and you're a rabbit. It's not going to work. You have to figure out what the culture is and adapt to the culture and try to ease them into a direction that some way is where you're trying to get them to go. And from personal experience, like, because I'm originally from Jersey, from personal experience, like, you know, when I was a CCA, like I tried for like about 7 or 8 months to do the management thing. You know what I mean? Because I just got tired of being a CCA because of the way they were treating you. And, you know, I tried it out. I mean, there's probably carriers right now and like, oh, he's on the dark side of the force. Yeah, I know. He was on the other side, huh? Yeah, I was over there for a little bit as a CCA, yeah. And you know, it wasn't bad, actually. Like, believe it or not, it was quite easy to me dealing with the craft employees because I'm a down-to-earth person. Like, I don't change for nobody. Like, and I'm all about, like, trying to get the job done. The issue I had when I was on that side was dealing with other people in management. Like Black said, they don't want to do their job. And I sat back and I watched as we had a postmaster at the time, young lady. She was from she's originally from California. She was a postmaster in Tennessee, and apparently she did a really good job in Tennessee, and so she took the job here in Philadelphia. And you could tell she was passionate about what she did. And her father, I think, was a mail carrier in California, so she grew up, you know, in the post office.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And she was doing a pretty good job, by you know, my opinion. And I watched, you know, being a supervisor, because I was working at the PM shift at the main office of delivery. I watched as she would, you know, do her job and, you know, send out a mass email to everyone in the district that's in management asking for certain things. And I watched how, as like, no one responded. And, you know, it was something that was in my level of clearance to respond to. When it came to our station, I would respond to it because, you know, I had time to do so. You know what I mean? Like, so in my mind, I'm looking like, if I'm at the main office of delivery that had over 3,000 P.O. boxes, over 118 collection boxes. This is before we added 19106, 19107. We had over 118 collection boxes. You had to make sure it got hit every single night for collections. If I'm doing all of this and at the same time making sure I think it was at the time was 66 routes, 33 truck routes. If if I can still answer an email from the postmaster who's asking a simple question about whether it be numbers, whether it be percentages, whatever the case may be, why can't these other people, these smaller stations, do the same thing? And I will see her answer the question. I answer the question. I check my emails probably, hour later. She's asking the same question. And I'm like, wow, no one's responded yet? Like, besides me, maybe?
That's crazy. Yeah.
And then, like, 2 hours later, there's a third email. And now everything's, like, in bold italics with exclamation marks. Where is everybody? Da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, I'm sitting back thinking to myself, these people try to parade to the carriers and to the clerks and the other craft employees that they're so dedicated and they're so serious about their job. But here's someone who's at, a higher level that's their boss asking them a simple question and they can't even answer the question. You can't be that busy.
No.
Like, no disrespect to nobody in the Philadelphia post office that worked as a PM supervisor, but if you're not PM supervising at the main office of delivery, you do not have more work than that person. Period.
Right.
You don't have more responsibility than that person. Period.
Well, that would depend on your AM supervisors doing what they were supposed to do, because I've noticed even at our stations that sometimes where the people during the day don't do their job and it falls on the closer and they have to finish what they did.
And that being the case, so imagine that happening to the guy that had 66 routes and 33 truck routes and 118 collections to cover.
That's a lot.
That's crazy.
If he can still answer the emails, why can't you answer the emails?
Yeah, that's
at
true.
these other stations that might have 1/4 of those mini routes, 1/4 of those truck routes, 1/4 of those collection boxes. There's no excuse. And like you said, like, people just want to get paid. They don't want to do the job.
Nope.
And this is why we have a retention rate of 43 to 46% in the post office in Philadelphia. Meaning that out of 10 people who go for the job, only 4 stay. You can't make me believe that it's the job that makes them quit or the work that makes them quit.
This pays well and got good benefits. So.
Exactly, yeah. That can't be the reason. And the funny thing about it is, our union here, was Branch 157?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Branch 157. We had one of our union guys came into our station, and he was talking to us just about, because our station is getting walk right now through the scanners.
What's that? What's walk?
Well, a walk is for anybody that's not in the post office. Is they're trying to gauge how much time you're taking on your route to see whether your route is over or under and make adjustments so that everyone has a fair amount of work.
It's
meaning
not fair.
you could have I'm just telling you what it says in black and white. Meaning, like, you can have someone who has 350 stops, and the guy's route that's right next to him can have 785 stops, and they're saying on the paper that both of you guys should be done in 8 hours. And the guy that has 785 stops is probably not getting done when the guy that has 350 stops. So they're going to try to fix that so that way they can kind of get done around the same time. So what it is, they'll track your movement from when you leave the station to your route, when you're done your route, back to the station, and then they'll add up all, over a week's time or 2 weeks' time, because the mail's never the same, like Black said earlier, every day. So they're going to try to figure out what's the average time that you take to do your route.
And the way they track them is through the scanners in which you scan packages.
Yes.
That you get. Yeah.
And how you move around. So the union guy we had that came to our station was telling me that last year in 2022 we had 2,800 grievances. And a grievance is when we have an issue that we have a problem with in our craft, the carrier craft, and we write a complaint about it to management. You know what I mean? So it's called a grievance. And usually, that's one grievance that a person could have. We had over 2,800, last year, which kind of shows you that usually when there's a grievance, there's the carriers having a grievance with management and the way they're doing things. Well, so far in 2023, he told me that in March alone, we had 1,000 grievances.
Damn.
1,000. He said we're on pace to break a record for grievances.
So wait a minute. So when did Louis DeJoy start?
I believe he started, I want to say around 2020.
2020, okay.
2019, something like that.
After COVID.
Right around the pandemic.
All right.
Yeah.
You know, they call me the painter because I paint and stuff. So, but I'm about to paint a picture a little bit.
Okay.
So, district manager in Philadelphia. When did he start again?
I believe he started last year.
2022.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Continue, brother.
and I'm not that versed on the upper levels of the post office in terms of like higher management district, senior VPs, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm pretty sure that in a district manager position, that if you break a record in your district with grievances from your craft employees, that makes you look bad. That means your team is doing bad, and the guys over your head, like your senior VP of the Eastern area, is not going to ask you, what's going on with your team. He's going to ask you, what are you doing? Because your job is to make sure your team is doing the right thing, so that these people aren't following these grievances. And to have 1,000 grievances in just 1 month is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? Now, granted, like Philly's a really big city, so the 2,800 from last year, who knows? That could be an average. That could be something that we kind of do every year, where it's around 2,000, whatever. Because every single person in the post office is going to have an issue, whether it be because they weren't getting time for the route, or they feel like they weren't getting fair treatment, or they got a PDI and they got a letter of warning that they didn't like, or a 7-day they didn't like. Granted, it's going to happen. But to have 1,000 in just 1 month, and if the pace is going in the direction of the union saying we're going to break a record, that's pretty pathetic.
Well, with that, I think a lot of those grievances come from, like, a lot of times I do think management knows what they're doing, and they're doing things to these employees and then the employees putting in grievances because the managers are, quote unquote, being lazy, skipping steps, which allows us to put in grievances. But I do think that that management needs to, for one, take the proper steps, and then two, they, a lot of them do know the job, and because they're either mad at somebody or got beef with somebody, they do things they know they shouldn't do, and which allows people to put in grievances, which I see at a lot of stations. A lot of managers and supervisors just pick on people. Maybe they don't like the way they look. Maybe they don't want them in a station, because a lot of managers, every manager would love runners. They would love for them to run the route, get the route done early, and the whole station closes early. And, it makes them look good because it's saving money. But realistically, not everybody is a runner. Not everybody moves as fast as the next person. Some people are lighter, some people are heavier, some people are taller, some people are shorter. Some people just move different. Me in particular, yes, I take my sweet ass time, because and the name of the game is to get paid. There's no reason you should be pedal to the metal going through your route just because you want to go home.
And you don't want to get hurt. Like,
that too. The faster you move, the more likely you are to get hurt. Yep. If you move super slow, you're probably going to get hurt too, because you're just moving too slow. But I move at a certain pace where I'm just, I'm even pace, where I'm going through the route, I'm getting done on time, I'm doing my overtime on time. That's all you really want to do. Like, there are people that go over because, they just move too slow because they get tired fast. They're not used to the job.
Well, let me ask you a prominent question. My thing with district manager, like I said, with him, his thing is too, like, the thing is, he also put interference on. Like, my thing is, he's got to implement a system where it's like, you got to do as I say, and it's kind of like a military structural style.
Because he's a military dude.
Huh?
Because he's a military dude.
Yeah, but my thing is, that's the thing, like,
that's what I heard.
But
I was told he was in the military.
The prime example, I'm gonna give you an example. Once again, my wife is a military. They got a CO as their supervisor.
Really?
Yeah, I just found out like 2 days ago. She told me like they got a CO person that runs the station. I'm like, you can't bring these people from different lights, different elements, like, and implement into now with here. We don't run that way. And my thing with the district manager, you keep scaring people. My thing is, what's gonna happen when your workers retaliate against you? Because after a while, you keep pushing, you're going to push me to the edge to the point where I'm going to basically fight against you. And my thing is, he's doing so much and putting so much pressure down on management. Like I always say, we are the ones. Management needs us. We have to go out there and do it. Nobody in management wants to go out and do this job because...
That's why they're in management.
That's why they're in management. And the thing is, he doesn't see the idea. He just thinking about, well, I got someone so up my ass, but you have to think about the bigger picture. Just as much as you're up top, you need the bottom person too. There has to be some type of common balance to the point where we can work together. But the thing is, he's so at a point where he's untouchable or unreachable. And the thing is, he doesn't want to hear nothing from a carrier. He wants to hear from up authority line. But dude, have you ever carried before? Or your clerk? Like what have you done in your craft to know? And that's the thing about getting people of not like-minded that do the same thing we do. And that's the thing that I feel like management takes there. Like they get somebody that's a clerk to come run the station, and you look at him like, you a clerk, you ain't never carried before. How you gonna tell me about something carrying? And you don't know. You was inside. You ain't out here in the trenches getting cold, rain, sleet, snow. Like that's the thing that kills me about people. Like I said, the one implement thing that we have to work on is communication. Like if I can't work with you on the same page or you can't relate to me, how is it gonna work?
But then again, that's what management, not even just knowing personnel, knowing routes, knowing the neighborhood, like Rick said, they also need to learn how to communicate and talk to people. Because a lot of those management people, they don't talk to you, they talk at you. Oh, yeah. And they don't treat you like a person, they treat you like your EIN, they treat you like a number. So I'm not surprised that they got a CO.
So let me ask you this, Brandon. What's the demographic at your wife's station? What's that like?
Mostly, like I said, it's mostly Caucasian. It's maybe like 4 or 5 African Americans at the station.
Wow.
Because where we at, and that's out in the Phoenixville area. Like Phoenixville is kind of more probably half and half. Like more black people moving up there, but that station probably is more of white carriers, older carriers, and they're retiring gradually because they getting tired of stuff. They move out faster now. Like they get a postmaster or manager like this, like. Money flowing in. It's like pick a car, hood. Dealing cars out, who am I gonna pick up today? Oh, this is the manager, this is the postmaster. It's like it's so much. The thing is, and the turnover is crazy. And that's what I'm like, it's not just us, it's all as a whole in this district. So my thing is the problems that we're feeling here in Philadelphia, we're feeling all through the Tri-County, basically. Montgomery County, Bucks County, Delaware County, wherever you and out in Delaware in the States. Like he runs that area. Am I right, Rick?
Yeah.
Like and my thing is, it's all on your plate, and it's like it's a reflection of you. You're seeing it. I'm like, you're doing this to everybody.
Reflections.
Oh God. but yeah, we're going.
Like to really, what I think the problem really is at the end of the day, because not for nothing, I think like the carrier craft gets picked on more probably than any other craft in the post office, and it's only because of it's jealousy. You know what I mean? It's crab mentality. He's counting somebody else's pockets. To the person that's not in the post office, and if you know anybody that's in the post office, you can ask them. They can confirm this to you. Our base salary is not our salary. Like I'm gonna say it again, our base salary is not our salary. What our base is what we will make if we just did 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day, 2 days off, went home. A lot of us don't do that. A lot of us do six days a week. Some of us do 10 to 12 hours a day. Some do 9. You know what I mean? Like some do 11. So your base salary could literally be whatever it is, and you can make $20 to $30 to $40,000 more than that. And a lot of times in management, because they are career employees as well, but they're not paid overtime the way the carriers are. So they can't really increase their base salary the way that we can. So a lot of times you can have, like for instance, I think an area manager who shall be named as TC makes around about $100,000 a year, which is good money for an area manager. But there's carriers who make that. And the carrier is at least 3 levels below him in terms of, the pyramid of the post office. Because he has a supervisor in front of him, he has a manager in front of him, and then you have the area manager guy that makes $100,000.
Yeah, probably 10 years less than him in a post office.
Yeah, he's exactly. You know what I mean? And that guy, the guy that's the area manager, could have almost 25 or 30 years in the post office. The other guy could be a maxed out regular who's at 12 years, and he's making the same thing he's making, same thing. So a lot of times, like a lot of these people, the way the reason why they're treating carriers the way they're treating them, because they're just mad and they're jealous because, like they said, they couldn't really do the job if they were in that field, They couldn't handle it because they probably were told the wrong thing by someone else in management before them. So they're out here running the route, probably blew their knee out, and they had to, and it was either find another job or take on a management position. And they did that. And then they found out it wasn't what it was cracked up to be. And then they're looking at the carrier who makes, 110, 105 a year. And they're making, if they're at a small station as a manager, they're making probably 77. 80,000. It's hard to tell somebody what to do when they make more money than you. We can act and pretend like that, your title matters and what your position in your title matters, but it really doesn't. It's about, America's about money. That's what it's always been about. That's why, we charge you to go to college even though we don't guarantee you a job. Like we said in previous podcasts, we charge you outrageous amounts of copay even though we have medical things for you, but nothing's free. You know what I mean? We'll try to cut routes in the post office, which means we're cutting jobs, but we have inflation.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like America's about money. That's all that most of these people in these government or corporate companies care about.
And let's be real, that's why they're trying to walk at our stations, like around Philadelphia. That's why they're trying to walk, because they want to cut basically jobs. They want to take routes out of the post office so they don't gotta pay.
And we're talking about a job that's about customer service. Nobody wants to mail at 7 o'clock at night.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to mail at 8 o'clock at night. So if a guy is getting you your mail at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you're probably a happy customer. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, now imagine that same guy got to you at 5. Mm-hmm. And that's the middle of the route. Mm-hmm. When he was getting to you at 1, now he's getting to you at 5.
Yep.
You're probably not that happy anymore.
Nope. You got your check late bank closed.
Yeah, exactly.
They ask you a million questions. Well, you were early yesterday. What happened? Everything okay?
Well, they added to my route.
So I mean, that's just the thing about the post office, where it's a really great job, like we said before, because you can come to this job, and I've seen this firsthand. You can come into this job as a CCA, which is a career carrier assistant, meaning your job is to assist the regular carriers, meaning if there's extra mail to be done, you do the extra mail so that the mail gets delivered, because that's the whole main point of the job. All the mail gets done. You can come into this job, where they're paying you, what is it, like $17, $18 an hour now?
17,
something like that.
17 close to 18.
In Philadelphia is about $17, $18 an hour now. I've seen guys, because like I said, I was at the main station. I've seen guys make $72,000 their first year as a CCA. $72,000. I've seen guys make $80,000.
Yeah.
We have a friend. We're not going to put his name out there. You know what I mean? He was 28 years old at the time during the pandemic, where 40% of America was out of work. In 2020, 40% of America was out of work. They didn't have a job. He was 28 years old with 2 kids, and he made over $90,000 doing this job as a regular carrier.
Killing them.
And all he had to do was just come to work every day.
And that was his first year as a regular carrier. Was that his first year as a regular carrier?
And I think that was his second year as a regular carrier. His second year. So he was at step B/C.
Yeah.
Depending on when his anniversary date is.
So roughly, he wasn't even at $50,000 a year yet. He was at like 46.
And he made $90,000 plus at a time where 40% of America was out of work.
Doubled his salary.
He doubled his salary just coming to work every day and just doing the job. Mm-hmm. Because he was relentless, and he was like, yo, if you're going to give me the work, I'm going to take it. Mm-hmm. So before you think that, this is a podcast where we're just trashing the post office, no. There's good and bad to everything. What I just said just now is one of the good things. If you're willing to work, if you're willing to grind, you can change your life. I remember a manager told me a long time ago, he said this job can't make you rich, but I wasn't believing that, because he just doesn't have the mentality of an entrepreneur. No disrespect, he just doesn't think like an entrepreneur. But he said this job can't make you rich, but this job can put your kids through college. This job can get you a house. This job can get you the quote unquote American dream, the white picket fence. It can, but you have to work. You have to be willing to work to get it. It's not going to be easy. But anything you want in life is not going to be easy anyway.
Yeah, it's true.
And you don't need a college degree. Like, my wife has a college degree. She graduated summa cum laude, and there are people in the post office that make a little bit more than she does because they just go to work and get all this overtime. Her job doesn't offer her that overtime. A lot of 9-to-5 corporate jobs don't.
I can, to this fact, I mean, I can attest to. I am one of those people. Like, my father worked for SEPTA for 30 years to put me through school. Like, me and my brother through college, and my mom worked for Merrill Lynch with no high school degree. So, like to Harvard on this point, it really could be done. Like, seriously. Just want to add that in there.
But yeah, this is one of these companies, this is one of these jobs that to make it in the post office, you have to have a set plan, have an idea what you want for your life. Because here's the thing, you actually can probably get rich from this job. I know people that have real estate, that own property, because they were willing to go out here and work every day and show up and do their job and do the extra things that are just there on the table for you to do. Because, you know, we have things like time and a half. We have things like V time, which is you get paid double. So if you're somebody that's making $22 an hour, you're getting paid double if you get into V time.
That's after your 10th hour.
That's after your 10th hour on the street doing the job. And certain stations, they need you to do that every day. So just imagine. And if you know anything about stocks and real estate and how to maneuver, you can probably get yourself rich in this job if you do it the right way. So this is one of those jobs where you can get the American dream. You just got to grind to get it.
I want to give it a different perspective because there's also carriers that make it hot, you know. There's also carriers that don't do what they're supposed to do, which makes it hot and which makes management want to take routes out, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, you know.
What kind of carriers are those?
We call them runners.
I was going to say something else.
We call them
Hood boogers. What's that, Brandon?
I mean, I'll let y'all get the floor and then I'll go last. But I mean, what everybody's perception on the word. I mean, it's something we all say. But I'll let y'all brothers go first and I'll get the emphasis on the last.
I just got a question about it. Can a hood booger be any gender?
Yes, brother. Yes, yes, it can be. Yes.
But when you say hood booger, what gender are you primarily referring to?
Unfortunately, most of the time, it is females. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It is like I've been holding on for this too long. They've been holding me hostage for this word. I had to let it go. Like it's something I brought to their attention, and they was like, "What the hell is a hood booger?" I'm like,
I've never heard this shit in my life, yo. Like,
well, I mean, I'm gonna give it props. Actually, it is a Jersey term. To my brother over here, it is a Jersey term. Jersey stand up.
Jersey stand up.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Seriously, yo. Can we get like 2 seconds of some love?
But I'll let y'all get y'all interpretation of the word from our discussion or me saying to you guys, what do you feel the interpretation of the word is?
Yeah, this is an example of some hood booger shit. It's like, bro, a hood booger carrier will steal a gas card, right? And sell the gas. There's some scamming ass stuff. Like, steal the gas card and rack up all this stuff. And they get in trouble for it and ask, what are my options?
Oh, man.
Yo, that was the funniest stuff I ever heard.
Who wants the floor next to this one?
Yo, look, man. Now, I mean, like we were talking about with this is the whole American workforce and the system and everything like that. Just like we have a union, other jobs have a union. And so we're going to move on to the next segment.
All right.
You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, guys.
I was holding on. I'm sorry. I was holding on. Y'all help me hostage. I was like in a choke over there. I'm sorry.
You're going to make them wait a little more for that one, man. But the next segment, we're going to be talking about, there's a new CBA for the NBA coming up.
Oh, man.
CBA is collective bargaining agreement, and it's usually what happens between the union and the organization. Organization being the National Basketball Players Association, the union being the National Basketball Association Players Union. And apparently some of the new rules is going to be in the new contract is that you can only have a limited amount of supermax players. So they're trying to eliminate super teams.
And thanks to Rick's man, CJ McCollum, for that suit and tie guy.
Yeah, and I said this a while ago. Like I like CJ McCollum because I listen to his podcast. It's like a podcast where they drink wine and they talk about just different things with basketball. But I can tell from his demeanor from listening to the podcast that he's not exactly like a brother that likes to ruffle feathers or go against the grain. Like unlike Chris Paul, who has the same birthday as me. Shout out to him.
Oh God!
I had to say that. You know, because Chris Paul made sure that everybody got paid and he made sure the players was getting like just the most outrageous things that was going in their favor.
So why did he stop being the players like union rep?
I think the amount of responsibility that comes with it is a lot. In terms, because you got to think about it. Being an NBA player, you got your own personal training sessions, team training, practice. You got your camps you run for the kids. You got your own family and your wife, kids, stuff you got to spend time with your family. Then you got the union stuff. Who knows how much stuff that entails, especially when you're the president of the union. You know what I mean? So I think he kind of just got tired and ran his course. Because I think LeBron was the vice president, which a lot of people didn't know.
Oh, no.
So CJ took over, and when I saw that he took over, CJ McCollum, that is, who's a point guard for the New Orleans Pelicans, I'm like, yeah, the management's about to get exactly what they want now. Because he's one of those guys that's not going to be a fighter for them. Against them, pretty much.
So you think he's more of a
company man? Yes.
Man? Yeah.
Absolutely. Because he's a guy that's super appreciative. Not saying he shouldn't be, but when you come out of Liberty, you know what I mean, and you become a lottery pick, you get in the NBA, you stay in the NBA as long as he stayed in the NBA, you have a crazy, amazing story about how you made it to this far. And you're appreciative that the NBA is allowing you to be still in the mix. And he's also a guy who doesn't have a championship, so that might play into why he's tired of super teams. So what the deal means about the super team thing, Black, is they're telling them that based on the contract negotiations, you can't have more than 2 players that have a super max on your team.
Wow, that's a good thing.
I don't think so. Cause my thing is, it's like, all right, if I have a super team, my thing is, you still gotta beat me. You still gotta play with your team versus my team. It doesn't matter about that. Like we seen that happen with LeBron losing to Dallas. Like that doesn't mean anything. Once you get on the court, all bets are off. It determines on skill versus skill personnel. Like and even on the playing field, I guess for lower tier and lower marketed teams, but that still might not help them. My thing is the chemistry. So you're going to give a team like Oklahoma City to win now, but all right, whether they're not ready mentally to do that, basically, you know.
Now, why wouldn't that help them? Because say one supermax player want to go to a large market team like the Lakers, but they got 2 max spots. So it's like, all right, I can't go there, so let me go to a lower market team, and then that elevates them.
That's gonna suck.
my thing, like Rick said, is all about ratings. So my thing is, in the aspect in the finals, do you really want to see Oklahoma City in the finals? As far as like, say that you're,
we've seen them already.
I'm saying you've seen them already because of the people there. But my thing is, say the fact that, all right, if I'm a casual fan, do I really want to see Oklahoma City? Like, you know what I mean? Or the personnel person, like, none of us can want to be like, well, we want to fly okay, see the finals. Like, nah, I'm not going to Oklahoma to fly to the finals. I want to go somewhere like it's nice for the finals.
I'm a hardcore basketball guy, so I mean, I like seeing the diversity in the league.
Yeah, but my thing is, are you really want to fly? Knowing you, do you really want to fly to Oklahoma City to see a finals game?
I would, because that'd be the only reason I would go there for it.
Exactly.
But in today's league, the way the league look, you look at the league now. How many teams that got more than maybe 1 or 2 Supermax players now?
Well, I think it's based on. I think what makes you eligible for the Supermax in the NBA is based on certain markers you hit,
or incentives too, where you reach.
Yeah. So what they're trying to say is these markers are based on your caliber as a player, meaning you score a certain amount of points, you get a certain amount of All-Star votes, you're a finalist in a certain amount of awards. So you're pretty much elevating yourself to a higher level in the NBA. So they're trying to make sure that all you guys that are doing these markers aren't just going to the same team. Now, my question is, because I thought about this in passing, what happens when you draft guys who are lottery picks or first round guys, and then they all turn into like that level of player, but they're on the same team because you drafted them? Do you have to now, are you forced to trade one of these guys because you can't have more than 2?
Now, that's where it affects the small market teams, because now they're not trying to go into the luxury tax.
Well, no. Look at my thing. Is I saw something the other day. Like what it was. It's Pascal Siakam. Like he's fighting now to get a max contract, to get extra $100 million in his contract if he reaches a first team All NBA. And my thing is, what Rick's saying that too is like you have him, Fred VanVleet, and then you have another draft pick with Scotty Barnes, like Rick said. So what do you do now? Do you keep?
Are they all supermax or max?
Yeah, like very Fred
Well,
VanVleet.
no. Siakam is eligible for a supermax because he has to reach a certain incentives as far as like reaching the first team. So my thing is now you got him and Fred VanVleet now, and my thing is Scotty Barnes, like Rick said, he's your lottery pick now. So now
what is Fred VanVleet at? Is he supermax?
He had a super. I think Rick. Am I mistaken? He had a supermax. Rick. I think he is. Fred VanVleet.
Too much. Well,
No, Fred VanVleet. I think he's at a supermax deal. I think VanVleet's at a max deal. Then
I thought he had max, not super.
he's at max. Not
yeah, but I'm saying my thing. What do you do between him and Scotty Barnes?
Well, to be eligible for a supermax, and anybody in the comments on YouTube or in SoundCloud can elaborate if I'm wrong. I believe you have to be an MVP caliber player. Okay. And have all-star, a certain amount of all-star appearances.
Well, I don't think VanVleet got an all-star, but I'm saying my thing is though too. I think they're gonna get rid of VanVleet to keep Scotty Barnes.
Well, by the time Scotty Barnes' contract come up, Pascal Siakam might be out of there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, probably. And the thing is, who you gonna build around besides Scotty Barnes? So that's definitely true.
So, out of all the teams in the NBA and all the players in the NBA, how many players actually have supermax deals?
I think it might be maybe 10. Maybe I think one of them is Dame. I think Giannis. I think
Steph.
I think LeBron right here.
It might be a good 20.
No, it might be 20. No, supermax dudes. I don't think.
Yeah, because if you look at it, every team is eligible for a supermax, and then you got to reach the salary cap floor too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my thing is, you look at all the top tier teams right now. Like, I guess you could look at like the teams like I think Embiid might have, or James Harden might have a supermax. Then you figure that. Then you might figure
James Harden got a supermax?
No, not this year. No.
Nah.
So it's safe to say that each team has at least one, or
yeah,
none.
one. Unless
or
you like Oklahoma City. Well, Oklahoma City will have a supermax. They have a max because
Shea
Alexander. He's in that first tier. Got his first max because he did it with the first 4 years. So I don't think only people don't have that. So it's like certain teams.
So like I said, it's safe to say that they either have one or none.
Yeah, one or none, or yeah, basically, or look at the Lakers. Lakers got two.
All right, well, that I guess you could call that an anomaly. But would it be safe to say that would this new rule in the CBA actually hurt the league, or will it just stay the same?
I mean, me personally, I think, like Aaron said, it gives a small market team the chance. Mm-hmm. Because now maybe one of these guys might decide to go to a smaller market to try to make, press their luck. I mean, we saw Kawhi Leonard get traded to the Toronto Raptors and he brought up a championship. That was great for basketball. I see a team that never won a championship win one. Because it changed the dynamic a little bit. It made it a little more exciting. It made people want to watch the finals, because this team really compete. Can they really pull this off? Like, people like seeing like the underdog story. Me personally, I don't have I do have a slight problem with that because it kind of takes away the freedom that a player has to go where he wants to go. Because like you guys said earlier, what if I'm a guy who wanted to play for the Lakers or the Clippers or something like that?
Well, the league runs into the problem too. Like the rule they put in with the you got to play a certain amount of games to get awards. So it's like also guys taking the obvious rule too.
And that was the point I was going to get to next. That's the part of the contract that I'm not mad at, because that creates more diversity that makes the league better. Because a lot of these votes and awards that guys are getting, whether it be MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, Most Improved, a lot of these things are popularity vote awards. So this new CBA is saying that you have to play at least 62 games, 62
to be eligible
to even win any of these awards. I love that, because that takes away that favoritism that certain guys get just for being in the NBA and just playing. Now it brings diversity. It brings MVP diversity. It brings Defensive Player of the Year diversity, It brings 6 Man of the Year diversity. All those things. Now this gives power to guys who are trying to get better contracts.
Rick only saying that because he think Mikal Bridges gonna win MVP.
Hey, look, Brooklyn Bridges got a chance, man. Got a chance.
Man, Brooklyn suffered after that trade. Brooklyn is dead in the water.
Well, we might be playing the Sixers soon, so we want in the playoffs. We want to see what happens.
I think Sixers would love to play them.
Yeah, y'all more of an easier matchup.
Hey, look, knowing y'all coach, I would love to play y'all.
Man, look, all right, look, y'all got rid of y'all coach. I mean, Steve Nash, right? We still got Glenn Rivers.
And we got rid of a bad coach for a good coach. Y'all just have who y'all got.
I mean, Glenn is a Hall of Famer though too, as a coach wise. I mean, he is a Hall of Fame coach.
It's hard to coach when you can barely talk, but I'm gonna stop.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, Glenn need to go though. Glenn need to go.
So,
He need to go.
so we want to see what happens with this whole NBA thing. We want to see how the players that are in the league feel about it. How the new guys that are coming in, because the draft is coming up soon this year. We want to see how those guys feel coming in. So, because this changes a lot of things for those new players coming in. Because, the NBA, they watched and they saw if they were paying attention to the business side, it's not going to be the NBA when they get there. Mm-hmm. So we're going to see how those guys adapt.
So when is this supposed to start?
I think 2024. So I think like 24. I think Rick.
I believe so. Yes.
It's 2024. But
If you know better than we do, please comment in the YouTube page and comment in the SoundCloud. We need the information.
I'm interested to see how this is going to affect trades and at trade deadline and stuff like that.
It's called get crafty and get shifty. That's what it's called.
Yeah, because could you see how the trades went down with KD and Kyrie, and Kyrie going to Dallas and KD going to Phoenix? You basically matched up with another supermax player.
Mm-hmm. So, what KD did for the better. I mean, Kyrie and the Mavs, they're kind of looking a little sad right now.
That's because Kyrie. I don't know what's up with Kyrie, yo. I think his game is not suited for. It's not team oriented type of game. Like,
so you feel he should be a 6 man off the bench, maybe?
Not yet. Like, I feel like he need his own team, honestly. Like, if he got like, KD, that ain't really work out. Now you got Luka, it's not looking good. I don't know. He in that weird space where it's like maybe in a couple years, he need to come off the bench.
Okay.
But
can me and my brother over to my left can speak on Luka?
Yeah, please.
I mean.
Oh, wait.
My man Luka does have. Black. How many texts Luka have? I think he had 16 texts. I think this year, Black. If I'm mistaken.
You said Luka?
Yeah, Luka Doncic.
I think so.
Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
Just to clear this up, like 2 of us here are Luka supporters, and the other 2 are Luka non-supporters.
I'm just saying, the man got a. I think me and Black had a discussion a couple days ago. The man got a technical rescinded, basically, so that he wouldn't get suspended.
Yeah, how many technicals?
Now, who
he had
does
16.
that?
He was over the limit. He's the Rasheed Wallace.
Somebody who's that bald. That's who does it.
No.
He got like 15, 40-point games though.
That's what
I'm just saying though. My thing is, if he was Rasheed Wallace,
How many shots
he would have got that. Like, you know what I'm saying, Black? If he was Rasheed Wallace, he would have got that.
Rasheed Wallace don't get buckets the way Luka Doncic gets buckets.
I'm just saying the rules ain't implemented because of Rasheed Wallace, and he's kind of a benefit over because he's a Euro player, he's a Euro star. But I'm like, that's neither here nor there. But like I said, Luka may be the problem in that too.
I'm record to say that the Euro development now is a lot better than this AAU development that we got going on over here.
Of course. I'm just saying, Luka is just one of the problems. Like I said, he's the guy that doesn't get back on defense. I mean, me and my brother right here, we respect him and see that the guy complains to the referee and doesn't get down on the floor and he complains. Like, oh my God, they foul.
Yeah, like what did he say when he came to the league? It's so much easier to score in the NBA than
But they don't play defense.
Yeah, but then he whines and cries.
Well, maybe the rest of them better.
Because they're hacking them.
No.
Everybody,
you go on YouTube. There's plenty of plays that he flopped his.
He flopped entirely lots.
So y'all trying to tell me the refs ain't trash this year?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. It is. But my thing is, he over got 16 technicals. My thing is, you're engaging with him and talking too much. Mm-hmm. So my thing is, it's them, but it's you too. You're one of the top player. You're the top player stars and top in text. That doesn't balance out.
Well, that's Draymond Green, you know what I mean? But
He's not a top tier player, sir. That's what I'm saying. Look at a top tier player. Draymond is a role player. Role player.
top tier role player.
I'm saying there are worse people out there doing worse things because they're not happy about whatever the situation is going on. You know what I mean? Segueing into the Tennessee trans shooter.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's right. I said trans shooter.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Appropriate.
Because this is, this was a young man who used to be a young woman who apparently shot up a Christian school that she used to attend. I guess because she didn't, identify with the values that they had in the school. And she went into the building with, I believe it was 2 AR-15s and proceeded to, take life in the school.
Nashville, Tennessee?
Yes. Rest in peace to the teachers and students that were involved in this horrible event. And much respect and shout out to the police officers who responded as fast as they could and handled the situation abruptly and on point. We were actually, because of social media, we were able to actually see body cam footage of one of the officers as he entered the building and, and went through his progressions, going from room to room, hall to hall. And they were able to actually stop the woman when they seen him and, and avoid any further loss of life. So we want to just send a shout out to the police department for handling that situation the best way that they could. Because I saw in the comments in certain posts, people were like, if they would have got there sooner, da-da-da. Listen, when you're hearing someone in a building with 2 automatic weapons, killing people, you just can't run in there like Rambo, like it's a movie. You have to move, because you have a life as well as a police officer. You have a family as well as a police officer. And your job is to do your job and get home. So they went in there the right way with the right mindset and move accordingly as they were trained. You know what I mean? And sadly they weren't able to save some of the people that were fatally shot right before they caught the young man. But they were able to actually still apprehend the person and stop them. Sadly, they had to put the person down, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? And my whole thing is like, I get that you don't agree with the principles that that school taught, and maybe you were forced to go to that school because who your parents were, but to take it out on the school and the system, to me, is a cowardly way of doing things. When the issue probably started at home. You know what I mean? Like, what are y'all perspectives on that?
Oh, man. I'll let y'all take me.
I'm just trying to figure out what was the actual reason, which to me, I don't think any reason justifies you going into a school and doing what that person did. I don't like it. What is it? 7 dead, 1 injured, and 3 children? Are you kidding me? I'm glad they put you down. Because there should be no room for that at all.
Nope.
It doesn't matter. It's not even about you being trans. You could be male, female, whatever you want to be. There's nothing, like, what happened to you that you thought that was okay? What in your brain said, oh, you can do this. This is cool. Like, what? Because that's not acceptable. That's not cool. Like, what did that school do to you? Or was it just random? That's what I want to know.
And to speak on that too, like I said, like I think America is like, I think what's happened, like school shootings, I think, and it's just like, my thing is, it's just, I don't understand, like you said, mentally, what makes a person snap like that and go through that? Like, the thing is, you have resources to help out and do that, and people don't use the resources they have, and they say, oh, it's a trauma. But the thing is, when you do things out of reaction, there are consequences of that. And a lot of these things, people don't see that. Like, just when you do stuff like that.
But one thing I wanted to add real quick. Do you know how mad you have to be? And how mad you have to be for a certain amount of time? Like, you have to get the weapons, get the ammo, go to the location, and do the deed. Do you know how long you gotta be mad to be able to get there and follow through? You gotta be insane. You have to be. Because there's no way you can justify shooting children or any person of that matter. Like, you have to be insane for you to just go through that. And the whole way, like, no.
And what would make you insane? It's trauma. It's just certain things is coping mechanisms from trauma. And in my opinion, like, that person going into the school and shooting up the school is a lack of coping with that trauma. Maybe a lack of resources of getting stuff out, like talking stuff through, getting to the root of their issues, stuff like that. But that's just crazy. Like, I got more to say, but I'm gonna leave it at that with respect to certain communities and stuff. So.
Yeah, it amazes me how we have ridiculous record high number of school shootings in this country. More than any other country in the world, period. Like, when shootings happen in these other countries, it's not in school. It's not in a place or institution of learning. You know what I mean? Which lets you know right then and there that we have a serious problem, not only with gun control and gun laws. We have a serious problem with the way we parent our children. Mm-hmm. We have a serious problem with the way we teach our young people how to deal with problems. We have a serious problem with how we address people who have maybe a mental illness or who are fighting with depression or mental health. And to have all the issues that we have in this country that are still prevalent in 2023, the main thing that's making headline news, that's making people go viral and talk about, is not the fact that we have these issues with mental health, depression, legislative laws that are going against, human rights and things of this nature. They're worried about China's influence with TikTok.
Oh, God.
And they're trying to ban TikTok, something that kids are using today for enjoyment or entertainment, because they're worried about the amount of money that the TikTok CEO is probably making from all these videos getting posted. Or, because in China, I don't know if people know this, you're required to give up 50% of your earnings, and 25%, I believe, goes to the government, and 25% goes to the province that you're from. So they make you take care of your neighborhood, pretty much. You don't have a choice. So the CEO of TikTok is probably paying, a crap load of money to the province he might be from, and to the other 25s of the government. And I guess because American people are funding this company by putting up videos and participating and being all over TikTok, the government is worried about their rivals getting stronger or having more influence on our children through TikTok videos.
Well, that makes sense, especially since they try to move away from the dollar, like people, countries around the world.
Well, I mean, then we look up where I might have seen where TikTok is. You have to have it's an age limit. I think I might have said it's an age limit on TikTok where kids gotta be. I think you gotta be 18 or like to join TikTok in certain countries. I think I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, some countries put a ban on people using at a certain age.
Yeah, I believe that that goes back to what we was talking about in episode 1 about social media having certain boundaries and certain things for children that are underage, because like we said before, there's certain things they shouldn't see and certain things they shouldn't be allowed to access because they mentally can't handle it. So, or they're not ready for it. So yeah, I think it should be boundaries on how old you are to be able to have TikTok. So yeah, 18 is a good idea.
Yeah, I'm just amazed at what we pay attention to in our news and media, what they highlight. Like, why is TikTok banning more important than the mental health issues that we have going on in our country?
So my thing is, wasn't it speculated that TikTok was allegedly spying on people through the app? So I'm saying, like, if that's a problem, then why isn't like Meta the same? Why isn't Meta banned too? Because they basically do the same thing.
And every phone we have now has a reverse camera that looks right at you. So who's to say that they're not always looking at you?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like what are we doing? Like, what are we like? It's just like like Black says all the time, it's a diversion. It's something that's make you not look at what they're really trying to do.
Sleight of hand. But to Rick's point, like, I think they were about the wrong stuff. Like, doing, more things for people with actual problems, like you said, mental health issues and stuff like that. Instead of you attacking what should be attacked, you're putting in front of people's face what the trend is, or what people are actually doing, or what you're following, you're going with the masses. And, the masses actually are hurting, but you're worried about TikTok. Like, like Rick said before, it always goes to money. It always goes to money. Every single time, it goes back to money. Instead of the people. Because if you worry more about the people, it will be a better place. And that's all I got to say about that.
Well, I mean, before we wrap this up, it's episode 4 on the Route Podcast. I do want to bring up that at certain times in life, you have people that go down a dark path, or a path they think is a light path, but it's probably not a light path for them. And I guess something happens that makes them turn around and just try to readjust themselves. And a lot of times, they don't get their just due for making that change and that correction. And sometimes they do. You know what I mean? So I just want to give a shout out to, I believe her real name is Angela White. Am I correct?
Yep.
But she goes by Black China. I see that she's making significant changes to herself. I think she just got baptized probably a week ago or something like that.
No, it was like last year. It
was like last year? Okay,
yeah.
All right, yeah. So I see that she's actually, making changes to her life, you know what I mean, and trying to do different things. So, shout out to her.
The only thing she said, she was being Sullivan, though. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
I mean, look, she's taking steps, man. You know what I mean, to being not the person she was before. So
you take a piece of the pie, you got to take the whole pie.
I think the growth is, I think it's impressive. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
it really is.
It's a start. It's definitely a start.
Yeah. So I mean, shout out to her for just making that correction and doing what she feels she needs to do for herself and for her own soul, her own mental health. You know what I mean?
What made her make that decision, though?
That's what I'm always wondering about. But I think she'll probably divulge that, whether it be in a book or in a high value interview.
Oh, she's doing this to make money.
I don't know about that, because she was making $240 million off of OnlyFans a year.
Yeah.
And she said, I'm giving that all up.
Well, I'm sure Oprah or Gayle King or one of them will get to the bottom of this.
Yo.
Young lady, change your life.
I mean, they usually get the high value interviews, so we'll probably hear from Angela White on one of those platforms, most likely. I'm sure DJ Vlad is not getting this one. Sorry.
Well, with stuff like that, I guess you gotta think about, because she got kids too, so I guess you gotta think about
how
your
old is
image.
How old is she?
She's 34, 33, 30. She's probably what's
30s,
early 30s. Mm-hmm.
So is it safe to say that she's doing this probably because she's getting older, and she doesn't want to look like the trend anymore?
Or my thing is, she might be expired. I mean, in our social media, expired. She might be, like I said, it's time everybody has a run. So I mean, she might be.
She's 34 years old.
Yeah, getting that age.
Yeah, she's getting older. So she probably. I'm saying I applaud her for it. She's trying to move in the right direction. Hopefully that's what she's trying to do. And that's what she's doing, and she's not doing it for another reason. But I'm saying, we'll see what she's actually doing. I'm pretty sure she'll come out and tell us. So, is she still gonna go by Black China?
That's what I'm about.
Yeah.
So Rick, as an entrepreneur mindset that you have, do you think capitalist and entrepreneur mindset?
Yes, he is.
So, do you think it's a significant thing that she's not using Black China anymore and using Angela White? Do you think it's? I
think it's smart because she's 34 years old. 10 years from now, when she's 44, does she really want to call herself Black China? Does she really want people introducing her as, here comes Black China, and talk to you guys about stocks and bonds? And no, I don't think. I think using her regular name, Angela Renee White,
What?
Works for her.
Oh, she's doing a rebranding.
That's
Yes.
where I'm going, like, cause it's like, all right, what if Black China? I don't know her business, but this is just like speculation. What if Black China is like, all right, I'm gonna go bankrupt with Black China and get out of a deal like this, and then sign a deal or do something with Angela White as my real name.
Well, here's the thing. Like I said earlier in the podcast, Dave Chappelle said it once. He said, once you become famous, you can never become unfamous. You can become infamous, but you can't become unfamous. So there's no going back to her just being a face in the crowd. She's always going to be somebody that people recognize, especially in this era now where everyone has a phone that can touch the entire world.
Yeah, you can pull her up easily, pull her up.
Yeah, so her rebranding herself is the smartest thing she could do because Angela White is going to be successful when she's 50, when she's 60.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that comes with
Black China's not going to be successful at 50 or 60. You know what I mean? And she's born in May 11th, so she's a Taurus too, Black.
Oh God.
She's Taurus gang, man. You got it. You know what I mean? So she's a fighter. So she's a fighter. She's a fighter, y'all.
Angela White is a Taurus, not China. Not
Fighting them.
Yeah, Angela White is a Taurus. She's a fighter.
She fighting demons. She fighting demons.
So I mean, that's all we got for y'all. This is On the Route podcast. Like I said before, a podcast that's created by mail carriers and USPS employees for our fellow mail carriers and USPS employees, and anybody else can listen to us and check us out on SoundCloud.com/On the Route podcast. You can check us out on YouTube.com/On the Route podcast. We're thinking about making our own Reddit page too because we still haven't heard anything yet from the USPS Reddit page. And that's how much
It's not gonna let us in.
but I am. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna let my brothers let y'all know who they are once again. You know what I mean?
B Morton, check it in live, glad to do this with my bros again. And that's it.
This is Black. I enjoy doing this, especially with these guys. We have a lot of conversations. We talk a lot. We talk about real life stuff. Of course, include the post office and the treachery that they be doing. But I really, really, really do enjoy having these kind of conversations because it's real life stuff. It's real. It's it feels good. And, I just, hope to keep doing it for a long time, especially with these guys. We got Rick Sean over here, you know what I'm saying? And, my man B-Mo Commando. and my man AA Ron.
So I'll go by AA Ron. That's how you know. But I'm Aaron. We got some interesting stuff coming up over the next couple of weeks. Interviewing a few people. Should be very informative. But yeah, thanks for listening again. And see y'all soon.
And this, your engineer staying low key as always. Your man Rick Sean. I'm out here doing this with my brothers. Doing this with my brothers, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a blessing, man, to be able to come together with 3 other gentlemen that just have, the same agenda. We're just trying to be just better themselves, you know what I mean? Just take care of their families and do the right thing. You know what I mean? It's hard, like, to try to find people that really on the same mindset as you are, on the same path that you're on in terms of just trying to develop and become a better person than what you were before, or to take it a step further than what your family took it before you. You know what I mean? So it's always dope to find people that have that same enthusiasm, that same drive. You know what I mean? So, hopefully you guys keep tuning in with us, rocking out with us. We're going to try to keep giving you something special, something different. There's a lot of podcasts out there, but I don't think there's a podcast like our podcast that talks about what we talk about. And, we always try to keep our focus on the USPS, our fellow employees, because they're going through the same thing we're going through. They're doing the same job, clocking in the way we clock in.
Yep.
Doing the things that we got to do. So we want to really relate to you guys and have you guys feel like there's people out there just like you who feel what you feel and, go through what you go through doing your job and everything. You know what I mean? We try to touch on other topics that we feel like you guys might be interested in. Let you know that there's kindred spirits out there with y'all. So once again, appreciate you guys for tuning in with us. Just keep watching us, man. We want you to try to keep getting better. All right, thank you. God bless.